Okay, we're recording. So I wasn't privy to the conversation that you had with Edgar's.
Mhm.
Um, we spoke to somebody from Facebook to
Oh, you
verify.
did talk to them.
Yeah, wasn't very clear, but we,
Sounds like, yeah.
we got some more references. We got people who work in the real estate department of ads in Facebook.
Okay.
Got their direct communication, but we haven't. I don't think Edgar's has responded. I don't think Edgar's has sent them anything. I know I haven't. So we should connect with the people from Facebook. Um, Ads wise, I saw that you put a few different versions for the ad.
Yeah, so we had some templates from before. My conversation with Edgar's revealed that there's probably significantly more limitations on what words we can use than I had originally thought. And so what the latest from that conversation was is that we should probably just run a test ad, because you can basically you just try to submit an ad, right? And then whether it gets approved or not, you can tell fairly quickly. So sometimes it'll be within an hour, sometimes it might take you a day or two to see whether it's approved or not. But that seems like probably the best course of action, just to test it out, and then you can adjust, right? You adjust the copy and language, and if we get it through with very very minimal words like home and property and stuff, like we take everything out, do it as best we can, and if it's approved, then we can work on it to try and maybe add a couple words back in there. Or if it's not approved, then we try and take more things out. But yeah, so they look at not only the ad copy, but also the image. Is there text in the image, but then also the landing page of where they go to and what keywords are on that landing page. And so the first kind of test was, or will be, to see if we can write ad copy that doesn't get us into that special category, and if we can create an image that doesn't get us into that special category. So what I did was I just created an image that was generic. It didn't show like really too much on it. And it had Edgar's face on it, and just grabbed a screenshot from one of his videos. And it's essentially not going to go anywhere. But what the purpose of that is, let's just create the image and throw it into an ad and see whether it's approved. And as soon as we know it's approved or not approved, we'll turn it off. Right?
What happens if it's not approved? Does it affect our relationship with Facebook?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, so we should just do that then. We can communicate with the person from Facebook to kind of add, to just kind of get more advice, or maybe what we can add to it, or maybe get some
Mhm.
feedback on that example that we've submitted. But I think let's definitely submit the ad. So what happens when people click on this ad now? They'll go straight to the landing page.
Yeah, we'll just point it towards the landing page, because we do want to see if that landing page copy is going to flag the ad. So we'll want the ad to be set up to go to that landing page. But I would assume we're going to get like one person maybe to view it before we actually turn it off. Because I'm not trying to see whether people are clicking on it. That's next stage. The first thing is just, is it going to be approved and start showing, right?
Okay, so it doesn't really matter what the landing page is. We will have
Yeah.
what we have currently, and hope that this one person is not a person who wanted to buy a $10 million house, right?
Yes. Yeah, I guess so.
All right. So yeah,
So the actual ad copy, do you have the page open?
the ad copy.
Let me put it in the chat here.
We're talking about
Right.
this.
Share screen. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
So basically, we're removing the word
Find a
home.
more flattering picture for Edgar.
What's that?
You couldn't find a more flattering picture for Edgar?
No.
Okay.
So the ad copy itself, we're replacing the word home or listing with assignment sale in the hopes that Facebook doesn't correlate assignment sales with real estate. They might. It could be a sophisticated AI. I don't know. So that's the text that we put in the image there. And then I just put the word hidden on these little dots to make it look like there's something not there. The actual text of the ad says, tired of bidding wars and the stress of not getting your dream place. So again, replacing home with dream place. Watch our free video guide. So again, very specific on video guide to learn about how private assignment sales work in Toronto. And obviously, once we know that this is approved, we will work on it and we'll try and adjust. We could do things more specifically, not just say Toronto. But yeah, we'll like take everything we possibly can out and have it still make sense and see if that's approved, right?
Okay. Okay. Let's try there.
To do that. That would be great.
So Edgar's is going to listen to this video and he will proceed with doing that right away.
As well as reach out to that contact too. I think the sooner we can talk to Facebook ad people who are real estate related, the better we can kind of focus this campaign.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to have somebody from the inside kind of guide us on how we can make the best out of it without, really upsetting Facebook. So that is good. Let's.
And the other thing is too, like, we can also run the ad. Let's say we get into that special category and we're not allowed to do that deep segmentation. We can still try and run this campaign with a very general focused ad to Toronto and see what happens. But yeah.
Yeah, it'll be hard to put in the proper listings into Monday. That's the only issue.
Well, they pick from a select group area, right, on the landing page.
Okay.
So we'll still get that information on like what area they're interested in. The only thing is just we won't be able to specify who we're targeting within Toronto for the ad, like demographic wise. And so it's kind of just up to Facebook on who they want to show it to. So our click-through rates might not be very good.
Yeah. Let's figure it out. Let's take step number one, which is best case scenario, is to get ourselves to be segmented and not fall into that category. So,
yeah.
Okay. The video, little kind of like a little stressed out with where to start with it. Not sure why, but I feel like there's some sort of resistance inside that stopped me. I wanted to shoot it today before our call, but I got a little bit busy, and I'm gonna try to do it right after our call. If everything is in that.
Yeah, I think I shared that folder, right?
So if I go to Google Drive, I should
go to shared. I can grab a link again as well.
Let me try to find it here. Okay. So secret listing funnel, right?
So yeah, I mean, there's different parts to recording the video, right? One is obviously scheduling it and with your team, making sure that you've got time set aside for it. But also if there's questions around, where do we set it up? How does it look? How does it sound? That's one piece. If there's questions around what am I actually going to say in it, that's a kind of a different conversation. So I guess where do you think you might be held up in terms of recording this?
I think it's just because it's been a bit of time before since I drafted it and you've done the improvement. It's this
Mhm.
one, right?
Yeah.
And we're trying to have this as a how many minute video? This is going to be a good 5-6 minutes.
Yeah, I imagine with a script like this, it'll be at least 5 minutes, maybe even 10.
And then we this is going to be the first video that comes up. There's a
Comes
video
up
that's going to be
on the thank you page. Is right after they submit the form. They'll go to the thank you page and see this video. And then in the email we send, it'll have a link back to this video as well.
in the email we send, we'll have a link back to this video. Is there another video that's going to be coming out, or is just this one?
So the second video was just supposed to be like a screen capture of Monday. So you can just share your screen and say, oh, if you click on, this is just a little quick tutorial to show you how to click through Monday. Over here, here, and here is where you find this information. And then if you want more contact information, you can contact us with the information here. So that one only has to be like, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds long.
Okay.
And I guess Edgar's could do that if you want.
Okay. So shooting this video and having and just the instructions, and that's all we need in order to jumpstart this thing.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And so in terms of recording this, I think there's obviously a lot that's like written out. This is fully scripted, basically. Almost.
A lot of it is
maybe could you separate recording this into two parts? One is reviewing and going through this, maybe practice a couple of the lines, practice the intro, and do that portion outside of scheduling time to record it. So if you break it into two chunks, one is for you to prepare like what you're going to say, again, go through this script, practice a couple things, and then the actual recording is another piece.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll schedule it in and then we'll do that.
And then I don't know how you've recorded videos in the past, but I'm very, very okay with and encourage people to record takes and chunks at a time. And if you have to, read the first intro and that's it, that's all you're recording, and you hit stop. You're like, okay, now on to the next part. And then you practice, you read the script, and then you read, okay, I'm Omar, founder of Samad Homes, blank, blank. Next thing, okay, stop. Okay, now I'm going to read the next part. Okay, and then you practice that. And so you just do it in chunks and then you just cut it all together, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Do you have, I guess, what's your capacity like in the next week or two to do this? I mean, for a video like this, I mean, scheduling yourself a half an hour to an hour to practice is like one piece, and then the actual recording, an hour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's schedule like over the next week or two?
I'm looking at it right now. I'm going to schedule half an hour, putting it in right now to practice this today. Okay. And then I'll schedule the record on Friday. Okay. So that is done.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to ask you something else as well.
Mhm.
You have access to Kajabi. For some
Yep.
reason, Kajabi is not working right now. Are you able to log into it?
Let me see. Yeah, worked for me.
It's working for you?
Yeah.
Okay, can you maybe share your screen? I'm trying to do it from my side, but it says it's giving me an error.
Yeah, can you give me permissions?
Yeah. I think it's because it's been pinned there for too long. Okay, so I want to ask you here, as you see in the pipelines, these are the different pipelines that we use for our listing marketing.
Mhm.
If you remember that first diagram that you drew out, a big piece of it was the listing marketing. And that's one thing that we're already doing well in, right? This is not something we're starting. This is something we already have. I want to see what is it that we like. If you can look at through this together and see what is it that you would advise to improve upon, and how we can create more better conversions. The conversions that we're having right now are good, but I think we can step it up significantly. So
Mhm.
looking at this, and I'm gonna pull up the diagram that you sent us, the blueprint that we started off with. Give me a second
Mhm.
here, Joel.
Um, yeah.
So we can also focus on. We have three listings up right now. We can maybe look at these three listings instead of looking at older stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah. So a big piece of our traffic comes from the listing websites.
Yeah. And so the traffic for these comes from Facebook primarily?
And we're trying to implement Edgar's is, he's been playing around with Google Ads, but he hasn't been able to figure it out. He's getting stuck. So maybe between the two of you can schedule up a time and see what is it that's holding him back. You're familiar with Google Ads, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
looking at the pipeline, for example, this is the landing page that we have.
Mhm.
If you go open the yeah. What I was thinking, I was talking to Edgar today. I was thinking to myself, we should have some sort of a video, a teaser video on here
Mm.
instead of having the text.
Yeah. Um, yeah, for great. Hmm. So part of it visually, I'm a little overwhelmed with all of this text. being roughly the same size, just kind of straight down the page. So when we're talking about design, it's nice to have things that follow a hierarchy in terms of attention. So what line do you want people to see first? And that should be the biggest, boldest thing that you can see. And then it starts getting smaller and more condensed as you look. So because otherwise with this, like, I don't know what to start reading first. Obviously the top, but people scan things, right? Their eyes move up and down and back and forth. Whereas something, I don't know, is there an example? Even just like this as an example, like this text here is the biggest, boldest first thing that you're going to notice. Watch guide is a little bit smaller. It's not quite as bold. And then this text underneath is smaller, and that'll be the last thing that you take a look at, right? So we want to try and follow that kind of structure.
So what was,
for website pages. So this,
if the purpose of this page is to get people to sign up, what should be the first thing they see? Information about the property, or should it be what they get if they sign up?
I think it should be, let's see. I mean, the first thing they should see is a nice big bold header and to say like the property or address, or like this should be the most prominent thing. This should probably come after a few of these features, like down here as a button or something. Or, I mean, this is right here too, so I guess don't need a button. I'm just starting to think, like, in comparison to a normal website, this looks unusual, right? There's no header, there's no logo. I don't know who's selling this property. I don't really have a heading text to focus on as like, what's the purpose of this page? So even if you wanted to, maybe the heading could be, you know, unlock the full listing or something like that, like something simple, short, and big and bold. Or the heading could be like the property address or title that you've got there, spectacular 1 bedroom or 1+den. So we could try either of those and see what works out. The other thing that can work really well to entice people to sign up is to provide something that looks like there's information that's been redacted. So what I mean by that is showing like, here's a box where an image gallery would be, and it's all blurred out. Where someone's like, oh, that's the thing that I'm going to see if I put my email address in here, right? And so you could do that with like an image gallery, and it looks like images from the house and it's all blurred out. Or you could do that with like features and specs or something like that. If you had, you know, square feet, and then the answer beside it, like, or the value beside square feet was, or size, was blurred out, kind of thing. So yeah, there's definitely a few things we can do with that.
Can we go to the next page? I want to show you what they get from it. But so just to kind of sum up, because I'm writing notes as well, there should be
yeah, I can bring up a little design program here and show you what I'm talking about. But you want to go to this page? Sorry.
Yeah, unlock. You can take a look at the preview page. The preview.
Oh yeah. So this looks more like a property website, right?
Yeah.
And I understand. Yeah, what we're trying to do with the other one.
So if we go
So,
down,
so like you could make the other landing page have the same header, right?
yeah,
And then underneath it show like what's blocked off, or give them language in that form to say like unlock, or to see the rest of this listing kind of thing.
I don't know what this is. Uh,
Maybe is this one not done? Maybe.
Go to the third one. Oh, he's trying to play around with it. He told me he was trying to do something different. So I guess it
Ah,
was more like a page where he had to choose between going to the full website. Back to website, book a consultation. So you got the 3D. Okay, so maybe this is the maybe this
interesting.
comes after the. So is this the third one?
I just clicked on the third one here. It's not loading yet. There we go.
I think this is the typical one. Yeah, this is the one. So this is similar template to the ones that we typically always have.
Right.
You'd have the pictures. You can open the preview one. It'll look a lot nicer.
Yeah, it's okay. Let's help you.
And there's a video, neighborhood video on the side.
Yeah.
So I guess when you,
This looks pretty good, right? I think it's very well refined, has a lot of good information, looks good.
I think the second one you opened is what you get if you go down a little bit. If you press on the button that says, oh, okay, I'm not sure.
It's okay. He may still be playing around with this one. Yeah, so I would say like
Use the same, it has to look the same.
very similar format. Yeah. I would almost put a logo up at the top.
I feel like logos, it makes people feel like they're stumbling on an agent's website. People are afraid of talking to agents. So if it's more like a property specific, what's the advantage of having an agent's logo on there?
My
We have our branding all the way at the bottom, like we're
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean, part of for me, I don't know, it catches me off guard when there's no context to what I'm looking at, right? Like I don't know who put this website together. I don't know. Yeah, and then just visually, it's like you expect a few things on websites. One of them is a logo in the top left, the other one is navigation in the top right. And when you remove all of that, it feels out of place. And I don't know, that's not to say that it's bad or it's the wrong decision, but that's my kind of gut feeling.
another concern that I would have with having the logo at the top is you're steering people away right before they go into the heart of it, right? So it's like this is a landing page more than a website.
Mhm.
But I do.
And it doesn't have to be clickable. Like it could just be a logo here. I think,
Okay.
yeah, it might just add a little bit of that credibility to it. Yeah,
Okay.
interesting.
You think the website's done like, is done well, but the problem is a lot of people are not getting into this website. I think if you pressed on the numbers, you clicked on the numbers, there was 500 and something people. And then how many people do we have? Click on the email on the left. Yeah. We got 10 subscribers, which is great for these 10 came up in the last 2 days, but still, I think we can make the landing page, the first one, a lot more effective.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you should probably just duplicate this page. And then instead of going into this, You might want to say something about like, how many bedrooms or something, just right under here. If you don't have all this information, just so they're not like, oh, is this like a 6-bedroom mansion or is this, I mean, obviously it kind of looks like a condo, but
It looks, don't they usually get that information on the ad.
right.
Um, we can. The other idea was to put up a video, like one of our teaser videos. Do you think that's a good idea? Because we make teaser videos for
Hmm.
before we launch. So if the teaser video,
Yeah, that's true. So what I'm thinking is like, could you have this header and then can you have something that kind of overlaps it a little bit, like a block that starts about here? I don't know exactly styling on Kajabi if it'll allow you to do that. But basically like a call to action box that sits fairly close under this title. On the left side, you could have, 1 bedroom plus den, condo. Here's a little preview video. You could embed the video right there. And then on the right side, you could have a form that says, unlock the full listing. I don't know. Yeah. And you could play around with the wording too, unlock or, um, access the full listing, something like that. And then underneath that box, you could have like literally take a screenshot of this, grab a screenshot, and inside of there, if you have,
I can't see what you're doing.
oh, sorry, just sharing one window, not the, if you've got your screenshot like this, instead of having an actual like image gallery, you just take a screenshot and you would blur it. And then you put that on there. So it says like, and then you could even type text on here. Signing for access or to you. Something like that. It's not that big with that text, but you get the idea, right? Just so it gives that browser, that user something to see, like, oh, I'm going to get more when I put my email in here. I'm not just going to get a phone call, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that would be my suggestion, is try to work off of this template, put a call to action box here, header, if you've got a preview video for it, that doesn't, give away too much, embed that right in that call to action box, put the form on the right side, and then, yeah, and then go straight to this page, I think.
Okay. And then first thing they do is they get an email. As soon as they sign up, they get an email thanking them. And then we have content. Is it a good idea to have them access the new website from an email versus taking, or do you prefer it goes straight, or it opens up straight to the next page?
I think going to the straight to the next page is the best option. You could send them an email as well, which obviously you're doing, but you want to get them the information, I think, as quick as possible.
Okay. Okay. All right. I do agree with you. It's very overwhelming.
Yeah, you just like don't know what to focus on, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So just even taking something like this and decreasing the font size on it. Where am I? I don't want to mess with this one, it's live. But yeah, you get the idea.
I hate Kajabi because it doesn't allow you to properly edit font. It gives you a preset, different things that you can do, and it's
Yeah, Squarespace and Wix do the same thing. It's like, this is the font size. You can either pick the header or the text and deal with it.
okay.
Cool.
So that makes sense. What if you were buying a property? What kind of, if you could go to the email sequence, what kind of information would you like to receive in a sequence? This is a new one. If you can go to another
Hmm.
better, but it's okay. You get the idea. Um, so welcome email. Gives them a ability to go back to the website.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on how to convert people from someone who signed up for a series, a sequence to uh, to someone who wants to engage with you? One thing that I found successful is email us for us to send us an email for us to send you a PDF of some sort, right? Where it's prompted via their response versus them clicking to download or we can do that. We can put whatever document we want for them to download. But when we get them to send us an email saying, hey, can I have this form? Find that that's successful typically.
Hmm.
Um, what else? What other hints do you think? Because there's multiple conversions here. There's a conversion from the original landing page to the website, which we need
Yeah.
to improve on. And then there's a conversion from the website to engaging or booking an appointment right away.
Mhm. Yeah, it's interesting because like sometimes when you're browsing properties, if something catches your eye and you want more information about it, it doesn't necessarily mean that that is the property that you're interested in. Like that's the only one, right? You wanted to check it out. That was something that's cool. Maybe they saw something in that ad. They're like, oh, this one's not going to work for me. So you always want that opportunity to open a dialogue, I think, that says, like, hey, we have more properties like this one, either by showing them other listings or by saying, we can have a chat. But I think alluding to the fact that this is a great property, you would love it. But if you don't, if there's something that doesn't quite fit with this one, I want to help try and find one that does, right? And part of our job, I think, through these automated emails is to build a little bit of your personality into it, the human side of it. I think from the copy in here, it's fairly rigid and robotic. And I know it's an automated email, but there are things we can do to add a little bit of personality and human element to it. This is your automated access to receive more valuable information on this. Forward this email to your friends and family if you wish them to show them this prestigious condo, meticulous upgrades. Is this fairly templated across all of your properties other than the word condo?
No,
Or do you write these for each one?
sometimes, yeah. We try to template as much as we can of it because it's a lot of work to set up every time you have a listing.
For sure.
But I wouldn't say that it's usually revisited completely and redone. And
Mm-hmm.
if you look at a different one, you'll see that the email sequence looks very different.
Mm-hmm.
They all follow a very similar process. So if you go back to the different emails, you click on the email. The first one is an introduction and what to expect. The second one is a Matterport video, so a link to take them so that they can zoom in on the property, they can take measurements, they can do whatever they want to
Mm-hmm.
kind of see that property. But you're right. I mean, we're focusing too much on this property versus focusing on us and focusing on the fact that there are other options.
I think so, because now that you've got their information, you know that they're interested in buying a place, not necessarily that place. If they're really interested in buying that specific place, they're either telling their realtor, they're emailing them a link to their realtor, or they're reaching out, right? And maybe that's something you should mention in this email is like, hey, if this is a property you're interested in, click this button to email it to your realtor. Or if you don't have a realtor, we'd love to talk with you. Like there might be a conversation around there you could have.
Mhm.
Take virtual measurements. Yeah, so I think you're not wrong in creating multiple multiple emails about that property. It's just maybe a little bit alluding to a bigger conversation than just this property. Yorkville neighborhood updates. Yeah. Looking at these emails, I'm just wondering if people unsubscribe.
Not very little. So this is a new one.
Well,
This-
these are new ones, yeah, so you don't see it.
if you go back to the pipeline and open an older one, look at 15 McMurch, for example. Yeah.
76, 72, 58, 54, 44. Oh, that's pretty good.
We got some unsubscribes here. Yeah, we're getting 5%, 4%.
Those are good open rates, though. That's actually impressive. And obviously, like, you're gonna get unsubscribes. That's natural. So my assumption would be like people are unsubscribing because this property didn't fit their needs, right? And they're like, I don't want to receive more information about a property that I'm, not going to buy.
This one, the day 6 one, sleeper cost, this one typically gets a lot of engagement. People will email us and say, hey, can you send me the form for the sleeper cost, right? And then we can send them an email. The way that the wording was.
Yeah, for sure. Because this is generic, right? This isn't specific to that property.
Generic, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so let me think about it. So one of the things that I've done for another client, this is recorded. I don't necessarily want to pull up his files and reports. We wrote an automated email for his email subscribers. And that automated email, we put a ton of his personality into it. It was just like trying to make fun of the fact that it was an automated email. He liked Batman, so we pulled some Batman stuff in there. He was selling data consulting, so we put in a chart that says like how excited I am before you signed up and how excited I am now after you signed up. And it was just like really tongue in cheek, but it was an automated email. And he actually got a response to that the other day that was like, this is the best automated email I've ever seen, from somebody that signed up and they were a potential consulting client of his. And so even though we're sending automated emails, I think there's an opportunity to put a little bit of that personality in there, because when someone's dealing with a real estate agent, like it's you, right? Like you are the person that they're going to be talking to. And if someone can get a flavor of that through the websites, through the videos, through the emails, they're so much more likely to actually want to have a conversation with you if they already know kind of who you are.
I agree. I think,
and we can template some of that, right? Like it doesn't have to be.
You said that and I wrote it right away. I'm taking notes. As soon as I heard that build their personality into the sequence, I'm like, absolutely. I can't believe we're missing that, because it's your first impression almost. So I agree, and I like that.
So let me look particularly this first one, right? Like if you set the tone, it's the same thing with like a headline, top of something. That headline affects the entire article of how someone sees it. Same thing with like that first interaction, that first email, that it sets a tone for the rest of the emails, even if you don't put that much personality into the rest of them, right?
I agree.
So I can take a look at this welcome email specifically that you're using in these funnels and see what I can recommend to put a little bit more flair and personality into it.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I think that we're, working on the assignment thing, and I'll have it done by Friday, as we had mentioned. But I do think that we should be working on what's working too. Increase the ROI on
Mhm.
on what's working, and make it work better. So we talked about visiting the website. Maybe we can put the website on a little bit of a hold here and get these things going well. Uh,
Mhm.
Looking at the email sequences, looking at the landing page, looking at the website. One big one is if you go to the bottom, you see at the last page on the left side,
Mhm.
that's the About Us page that we have. I mean, that to us is the one that gets the least conversions. The least amount of people end up seeing this very small percentage, but this is kind of our personality. And this is kind of what is different about us. This is our USP.
Mm.
And this should be reaching people. I mean, this is a bit of why us, right? Um,
Mhm.
I think we're doing things wrong. I mean, I don't think we're doing things wrong. I think we're doing a great job, but I think we can be doing a lot better. Uh,
Mhm.
and We got a good couple of things to work on, like over here. The idea of
You
the website.
recreate, do you duplicate this page for every funnel?
Yeah, we duplicate the page and we add it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just wondering why this isn't your website.
Maybe we should
Like,
just do it. Maybe we should just make this into a website for now, and then improve upon it. Better than that crappy one that we have. Yeah, I agree with you.
that's what I'm thinking. Like, this has way better, I think, information than what's currently on your homepage. Um, and then also, at what point, like, how do they get to this page? What do they do before it?
There's a button that they have to press at the bottom of the page,
Right.
and that's the one that kind of meet the team or who we are.
Yeah.
We'll barely get there. It's all the way at the end, and people barely ever get there. So
Yeah. Sure.
they never really get a taste of us
Yeah.
all the way at the bottom, I think.
About us.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a button here too. There you go. There's one. Um, but yeah, you need that home base, right? If someone wants to understand who's selling this, or I need a realtor, or whatever it is, right?
We should use this, and absolutely, you're absolutely right. Just duplicate it and then replace the current website with it. Add a few things, maybe functionality wise. I just
Yeah.
feel that this shouldn't be the first page that you get. This should be one of the pages that you press. They get to meet Samad Homes, and then you get to this. Versus
Mhm.
this being like you press Samad Homes and this is what you get. I may be wrong, but it could be a good place to work on. Work
Mhm.
from. The final thing that I want to mention before we wrap up
Mhm.
in 5 minutes is the purpose of these websites is a few things. The purpose of these websites, now we have flyers that go out and they have a QR code that you can scan and you get straight to the property's website. Um, we get people to come in here through social media. We're trying to build up Google, and I think if you and Edgar can set up a call to get that to help him with it because he's having a really hard time with it, that would be amazing. The purpose of these websites is to, other agents don't do this. Very few agents will build up a custom website. And Edgar was telling me, is this even is what we're doing worthwhile?
Mhm.
Right now in its current
From
setup,
a sales perspective.
yeah, maybe in its current setup, it's not. Maybe, and I've been looking at getting a plugin to something that's already built up that maybe allows you to see other websites, other properties at the bottom, right? When you're looking at one property, it can take you to
Yeah.
other properties. We've been exploring this option, but the purpose of this website is to either with our seller campaigns, convert people to a listing, another listing in the area, is to get a buyer for the property, is to
Mhm.
get a referral, right? Or is to get a buyer for another property. So all of these people need to be in a way targeted, whether it's getting another seller, whether it's getting a buyer for this property, whether it's getting a buyer for another property, whether it's getting a referral, whether it's getting, so I feel like we're barely touching all of these, and it should be on the website. And if
Mhm.
if we're not doing this, if because the conversion that we're getting with this is good, but it's not that great. If
Mhm.
we're not getting these conversions right now, maybe Edgar's is right. Maybe it's way too much effort. But if we can make this time, if we can make something about this website very unique from what other agents can do, then maybe it's a differentiator. Maybe it's a source
Mhm.
of referral, source of buyers, source of sellers, which it's not right now. So it'd be a
Mhm.
great thing for us to. I was thinking about this today, and I was thinking, Joel, I'm going to be talking to Joe. What are we going to talk about other than the assignment? I'm thinking we're spending so much time here, but
Mhm.
he can probably offer a ton of value in what we're already doing, right, and
Yeah,
small,
totally.
small shifts.
And like maybe there's room to even template this even more, right? To a certain degree.
Yeah.
Um, but also build in some of those evergreen pieces of value um, within these pages. So if you've got a block that calls to, um, you mentioned that email. What was it? Email number 6 and that other one, where they can get a PDF from you. Build in those types of added value to what people see here.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, there's a ton of stuff here like that we can work on and try and tweak and improve, and not only improve how it works, but hopefully to improve how or decrease the amount of time spent creating it, right?
Yeah. 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 Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. So I will, again, I'll look at those review emails or the welcome emails. When I write review, welcome emails. I will contact Edgar's to work on the Google Ads. Um, the other pieces, so I guess duplicating that website or page, using it as your homepage, maybe tweaking it slightly, could get us a little bit further than where we're at now with your main website.
Susie
And
can help
then,
with that. Susie can help with that. She's getting this video as well.
yeah.
Yep.
Um, and then the other two pieces, well, I guess no, that's the website. So the other piece is what's our, follow-up email strategy? What's the rest of the email campaigns that we're sending from a monthly perspective, but also in that the secret listing funnel, the
Yeah.
assignment skill
Yeah.
funnel.
Joel, actually, since you're on the topic, if you can just quickly go to the email sequence, there's something very important that ties into this as well. And I don't want to take too much of your time. Not this one. Go out of the
Okay.
pipeline. Go back. Yeah. And then you go to email. Hold on. One more.
We'll get there. I know it's scrolling. We'll get there. Waiting.
Here. If you go to email campaigns, yep. And we have a broadcast that we're also using. It's still loading.
Yeah.
And it's so slow. If you go to 50, go to 85 McDonald, McDonnell, the second one.
Oh, the second one's right.
We also do this and we sent it to people. We can target certain people, certain email, certain people with it. If you go down,
Mhm.
these were people that were sent. Um, can you open this? How can you see it? Preview. I'm thinking this could be a better feature if you want to mention specifications of the property.
Mhm. Yeah, this is essentially what's in that listing page, right?
Very similar stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And so this goes out to, a segment that you think is relevant based on the area, based on the.
Whether it's agents, whether it's our prior database, whether it's something like that, and it's also another tool that we use when we're marketing the property.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah. I think there's also, I think, an opportunity to give people an opportunity to opt out of emails. But maybe not in like a direct unsubscribe way. Maybe like click here for a 3D tour, or a button underneath that says like, I'm not currently searching for a home. Because I think even knowing, nobody wants to know that their list is, there's a portion of that list that's not good anymore, right? They already bought a house, they moved out of town, they whatever it is. And it's not fun information to know, but if you do know it, it actually helps you, clean up your list, know who you're talking to, or have a different conversation with those people. So if there's a link here that says like, I'm not currently looking for a home, they could click on it. We could have a page that they go to, and we can ask them why. What are they doing? What kind of information? Be like a little mini survey or something.
yeah,
Just an opportunity to like open up that dialogue, even if someone's not looking for a place. Anyways, that's just a note that came to my head.
yeah. Okay.
But this looks great. I think doing this this activity seems really in line with your promotion strategy for these houses. So yeah.
Okay. All right, we have a plan. We will connect again next week.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
But I mean, email, if you want to, we can connect over email. So that's fine.
Yeah, okay. So you'll reach out to Edgar's and set up a session with him. And
Yep.
yeah, man, awesome.
Go from there.
Great.
Cool. Well, this is great.